Hello everyone and welcome to the jpward01 2021 Q&A. Now, it's been a while since I posted that announcement video and I feel like it's about time I actually get the video uploaded. It's been a bit difficult trying to find any time to actually record this because people are in and out of the house all the time. So I'm just trying to find the perfect time to, record audio while it's nice and quiet. So, well, I guess it's nice and quiet now. So, I guess I'd best get started with it. So, I hope you enjoy. Also, this video is going to be entirely unscripted. I'm rehearsing what I'm going to say in my head before I do say it, but I might repeat myself once or twice. So, if I do that, then you know why. Anyway, let's get to the questions. First up is a question from Vanine Speech on Twitter, and she asks, "Who is your favourite sister?" You can't expect me to choose between you and Victoria, you silly. The next few questions are sent in by Lorkechi from Twitter, and these are quite a few questions, so I will be referring to my notes here, make sure I get them all. So, the first question is, what are your plans for the future of the channel, and are you planning on any new series? Well, I'm not planning on any new series in, the traditional sense, I guess. I do want to try and make some, regular gameplay videos. I might try streaming again at one point. I tried doing it before, and the results weren't exactly the best due to our really shit internet connection. So, I might attempt doing that again. I mean, I'm playing on PS4 for most games nowadays anyway. Well, not most, but a fair chunk of them. I'm also planning on bringing collection videos back. It depends though. I've been doing quite a lot of PS4 collecting, so I think that might be worth bringing back to the channel. So you look forward to that if that happens, I guess. And I do have a few ideas for some new reviews in mind as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the same format, so covering them from in chronological order of events. So, for example, I might keep that to stuff like Lego Island 2, where the game is quite rapid. It's not rapid, but it changes quite a lot in terms of gameplay. They've got a ton of different mini games. If it does something like that, then I'll do the same format, but since there's a lot of variation with stuff like Lego Island, I'm going to keep that format for games like that, to put it simply. I might try experimenting with the review format, but I'm going to see where that leads. I'll try it for the next few videos and let me know how it goes. I am also considering maybe rebranding the channel. The only problem with that is that I don't know what to rebrand it to or when to do it. So I'm going to stay as jpward01 for now and see how I feel in the future about that. The next question is, favourite Persona game? Now this is quite an easy question for me to answer, being Persona 5. Not only would I consider it my favourite game of all time, but I also really, really like the game as a whole. It's just, you've got so many great characters, you've got the great gameplay, really addictive. I always feel the need to come back to it every now and again. It's incredibly fun. Granted, I am playing Persona 5. I haven't played Royal, Persona 5 Royal. I know it's supposed to be the updated version, but I got my copy just before, maybe about a year before Royal came out. So yeah, I still need to get my hands on Royal. I really do want to play the updated version simply for the extra content, which is mainly why you play an updated version, really, isn't it? But for now, base Persona 5, really fun game. If you haven't played it and you have a PS4 or PS3 even, give it a go, it's really fun. Next question, what consoles do you own? Now this can be split into two parts, the ones that I own for myself and the ones that are owned by the family. Getting into the latter category first, that being the Xbox 360, which I also use for original Xbox games, and the PS4, which I'm using to edit this video right now. The second category being the game consoles that I own for myself are the PS2, which I've used for a good chunk of my gaming life, I suppose. The Wii Mini, which is pretty much a budget version of the Wii. It doesn't have any internet capabilities. The GameCube functionality is removed entirely, much like later versions of the Wii itself, the standard designs. And it's got a different design altogether. It's not much, but it does get the job done as a basic Wii, I guess. There's also the handhelds, if you want to count those as consoles. So that's the DS, 2DS, and Game Boy Color. And you might as well throw a PC on there. I know it's technically not a console of any kind, but, I mean, can't leave it out, really. Next up, opinion on Ace Attorney. Now, I really want to get into the Ace Attorney series, it's just not something that I've had the time to do. I actually do kind of want to get into it mainly because there's a Professor Layton crossover on the 3DS, which might be a good introduction to the series, but I don't quite know yet. I should probably get into the mainline games before I try that first, though. Probably because it gives me a better idea of what the Ace Attorney series would be about. All I know is that it's got the trial gameplay kind of similar to Danganronpa, which I've also started playing a few months ago, but it's not too similar. They're quite distinct gameplay styles, but considering that I'm a fan of Danganronpa, I probably would be a fan of Ace Attorney regardless. Do you plan on getting a PS5? I want to get a PS5, but at the moment that really doesn't seem too likely, and I think everyone knows why. It's quite tricky to get your hands on one at the moment, so right now it's definitely not a possibility. Maybe in the future when people aren't trying to hoard them, resell them, or, when retailers actually have a decent supply of them and they go down in price, then it definitely seems likely when that happens. But at the moment, definitely not. And last question from Lorkechi. Favourite Xbox 360 game? Now, if you know me, you'd probably know which one that would be, and it's LEGO Star Wars, as obvious as it would sound. It's a game that not only got me into gaming to begin with, technically LEGO Star Wars 2 came first and then LEGO Indiana Jones, but LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, it's a great game, seriously. If you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're a fan of LEGO, if you're a fan of platformers in general, it's a go-to, it's a must-play. I can't recommend it enough, it's really, really good. And with the Twitter questions out of the way, let's move over to the ones from YouTube, starting with Erin Vashau. Oh, by the way, if I mispronounce that name, feel free to correct me in the comments. Despite interacting with you quite often, I never really pronounced it in person, so yeah, whoops. But, he asks, what is a game you think is criminally underrated? And to that I say, the No More Heroes duology. Is it cheating if I put two games? I feel like it is, but it's my video, so I'm gonna go with it. So, No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle are hack and slash games originally released for the Wii, and I do think they are, kind of underrated, mainly because I don't see people talking about them as much. When it comes to hack and slash games, typically games like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry take the spotlight, and I feel like No More Heroes deserves a bit more of that respect, a bit more attention. Part of the reason as to why I think they're so underrated is because they never really left their original hardware until quite recently with the Switch ports. And if you have a Switch, or if you have the original hardware of the Nintendo Wii, then I'd say go for it. It's definitely something that it's something that it piqued my curiosity quite a while ago. I got into it, and I didn't expect to have that much fun with it. So if you're a fan of vulgar humour like I am, haha, and also want to get into the hack and slash genre, then No More Heroes is a good place to start. The next question is from Grime Rat. What is the biggest burger you've ever eaten? Now, you see, I'm not exactly what someone would call adventurous with food, exactly. I'm not exactly the biggest eater. I'm quite, as the restaurant owner or a typical chef would put it, I am picky. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of trying new food, and as a result, I'm not the biggest fan of burgers. So, the off times I do have them, it's not often, but I do occasionally have them. It's very rare, quite occasional. Let's say, quite recently we had a takeaway. There was burgers on the menu. I decided to try a chicken burger. It wasn't exactly a big one. It was quite, normal size. I'm not exactly a big fan of toppings or fillings either, so yeah, I'm quite basic when it comes to food. But I'd say it was, moderately sized at least. There's also microwavable burgers which you can get from the shops, but a microwavable burger isn't exactly that fun of a response. So, yeah. Hellraisers2 asks, what's your favourite Metal Gear game? And just like Ace Attorney, it's a franchise that I simply haven't gotten around to playing yet. I want to get into it, but haven't been able to track down any copies, or even download any, so to make up for that, here are some games from the franchise that I want to play. Metal Gear Solid on PS1, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater on PS2, and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance on, you guessed it, the Xbox 360. We don't have a PS3. So, I know Revengeance is quite different from pretty much every other game in the series, but consider those three the ones that I'm most curious about, the ones I'd want to get into, the ones that I'd want to focus on first, basically. Up next, Bloops asks, would you be able to give us a little overview of your recording setup? I absolutely adore what you're doing with the limitations you have and would love to see it more in depth. So, yeah, you can definitely see that. In 3, 2... Okay, it's not much, but let me explain. If I wanted to record a game, I can do it one of two ways. I can record it directly off the PS4, like you're seeing here, or I can use something that isn't a PS4-related capture device, that being a phone. It's not exactly the best quality, but it does the job when I can't use the PS4 for something like a retro game, for instance. This is where the process can get a bit messy for non-PS4 games. To get the non-PS4 gameplay over to the PS4, what I have to do is, I have to take the phone, plug it into the computer, put the video onto the computer, put that onto YouTube, re-download it from YouTube via YouTube Studio so it's in the right resolution, then put it back onto a USB stick and onto the PS4. Making sense to anyone? Good. Even though YouTube themselves provide YouTube Studio and a way for you to download your videos back, I do not recommend doing this. It is incredibly time consuming. If I want to record myself or any audio, that means I'll be using the PS4 camera, and if I want to edit a video in general, I'll be using the PS4 Share Factory app. Hey look, there's me putting this very audio clip into place right now. Cheese and Crackers asks, if you were stranded on a desert island and only had to take 5 games with you, what would those games be? The desert island question. Personally, I believe the best answers to these kinds of questions include games where you can get quite a lot of longevity out of, but you also enjoyed playing them. So in my case, that would be Persona 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Minecraft, Sonic Unleashed on the Xbox 360, and LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. You might have already worked those out, but can you really blame me? They're fun. They're quite a lot of fun. Raspberry Rain says, I have no idea if you remember me, since I've changed everything about my profile, but what is the funniest thing to happen to you in a game? Now this is also quite a tricky question to land, because, if anything, it's quite hard to think of what the funniest things you've seen in a game are when you, asked to be questioned about it. But a few I can think of off the top of my head are quite recently with Minecraft, where I tried to put a chest in front of a fence, and I was also chased by a creeper. And you know what happens. They explode, they climb over chests, they got over the fence. My chickens that I lovingly kidnapped and raised where they went boom. Pretty sad stuff, really. Big sad. And also, another one that stuck with me for quite some time, because it was so long ago yet so nostalgic, is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the PC. I'm going somewhere with this, trust me. So, what happened was, I was watching my sister play it, in the new speech. I was watching her play it. This was a long time ago. I'm not sure if I'm remembering it all correctly, but we got to the boss fight with Aragog, the giant spider, and I believe she said, "At least he's not lunging towards the screen." He then proceeded to lunge towards the screen, and her, myself, and my brother all screamed. It was actually very funny. It was almost like the game hurt her. I genuinely love moments like that. Also, Raspberry Rain, feel free to leave a comment under this video letting me know who you were before, just to give me a quick refresher. I look forward to hearing from you though. Our last two questions come to us from JC, and he asks, "You should set up a Discord server." Okay, technically not a question given the way it's phrased, but I do already have a Discord server, so I'll link it in the description here, in case anyone else wants to join. And the last question, any luck on getting an Xbox One, from an old friend, James TC1. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, the thing is, since we've got a PS4 at the moment, there's not really any reason for me to try and seek one down for the time being. I might get one in the future, but again, for the time being, I'm not going to try and seek one out. But there's also so few exclusives on there that really interest me. There's a small handful, like Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, and Rare Replay, but that's just free. I don't think free's worth getting an entire console for, so I'm gonna, again, hold off on trying to get one. It's nice to hear from you again though, so I hope we can interact a bit more often. And that is every single one of your questions answered. Again, I'm sorry it's taken so long to get this video out. Said and a bit too much. Again, I'm just proving my point there. But I appreciate every single question sent in, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, sorry it took so long to make. If I knew it would take so long, then I would have left the question threshold up for longer. But I'm glad that I managed to get this video out sooner rather than later. So, again, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.